I have with me today Jonas Boesiger. He is a Swiss professional snowboarder all the way from Switzerland. So thank you for joining me today. Very nice to have you. And he is out here with us in Colorado. And you've been traveling for a while to get to this point, and I know you're eager to get home. But how are you enjoying it so far?
It has been a really great trip. We went to China for 1 week, then 1 week in Canada, and now 1 week in Colorado. And we had 3 competitions, and we had a lot of fun with the team.
So how can you expound more on those competitions and what the purpose of those competitions were?
For sure. We had 3 World Cups in big air, which is just one single jump, and you basically show off your best trick. And for me, the competitions came pretty early because I came back from injury. So it wasn't that easy in the beginning, but I got used to it and the results got better and better. So I'm really hyped to be back in the game and be back competing.
What was the injury and how long have you been in recovery to get back to this point?
I just sprained my ankle in August, and unfortunately I broke my 5th metatarsal bone.
Oh, wow.
Which was, super unfortunate. And I've been recovering since, I don't know, it took me like 6 or 7 weeks. And then afterwards, I could still feel it a little bit on the landings because of the impact.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's pretty good. I don't really feel it anymore. So
that's good.
Really
that's
happy about
good.
it.
So a little background about Jonas. Off of Wikipedia. Jonas participated in the 2018 and 22 Winter Olympics. Now, do you have plans to go to the 24 Olympics? Is that something that you foresee in your future?
I'm not sure yet. I'm pretty old for a snowboarder now, for a competitive snowboarder. So I'm gonna take it season by season and decide after the season if I want to still compete, if I even enjoy competing, and maybe we'll be back in 2024. So I don't know yet.
That's awesome. And that'll be close, right? I think it's in Paris, France. But no, I'm super happy for you. And I just want you to just, go into how did you get started? How long have you been snowboarding? Did you ever think that you would ever go and hit it with the pros? Like, how did you get here?
I basically grew up near a ski resort, and I started skiing at a really young age. And then I saw all the snowboarders in the resort, and I thought it looked way cooler. So
sure.
I convinced my parents that I want to switch to snowboarding. So when I was 7 years old, I started snowboarding, and from the first moment, it really captured my life. It was like this passion which I have for this sport, which I cannot really describe it. It became my life, like really, really fast. So I started in a local club there, then worked my way up to like the sports school, and then afterwards started my professional career.
How old were you when you started the professional side of it?
I basically was around, let me think, maybe 13. I went to the sports school, and then I finished the sports school in 2015. And then after I finished school, I basically went full professional.
So for us Americans, what is a sports school?
It's basically, I think it's a high school where you're just allowed to do way more sports, and you travel already with the team. And on the side, you just finish the necessary schoolwork.
Wow, I wish we had those. Another fun fact about Jonas that I learned briefly in this living room is that he is a professional juggler. So I do want you to juggle for us.
That's super tough. I need to stand up.
That was great. That was so great. Are there any other surprises that you have in your back pocket?
Generally, I just like to be outside, be in nature. I recently got a lot into climbing, which is really fascinating to me as well. And that's basically it. Just flying, climbing, then all board sports.
That's awesome. For snowboarding, what brings you purpose in that sport and all that you do in terms of enjoyment, fulfillment, and the competition style?
For me, snowboarding is mostly about a flow state. I had a pretty, I would call it a rough time during childhood. My parents split up, and it was pretty tough for me. And snowboarding was always that one thing which was there for me, which was my escape from everything. Like when I was on a snowboard, I didn't think about anything else. It was just I was living in the moment, and all my problems seemed to disappear. And that's, I think, the main reason why I still do it and love it so much, because every time I get on a board, everything disappears, and I just live in this special little place, in this special little world for that while. And that's so fascinating to me.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about how they get through the hard times with the good times, but I appreciate that. And how has the support been from your end, whether that's family, friends, all of that? Who are your biggest supporters?
It has been really good. Like without my family, I couldn't do the things I do or even get into a sport like that, because especially in the beginning, snowboarding is pretty, or not in the beginning in general, it's super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to have the right support to even get for in my case to a sports school and even start a career like that. So I've been really grateful for all my family members that really support me, and also my friends back home.
What were your biggest challenges that you faced, whether that's in your professional career or on off time, and how did you overcome that?
I think difficult times were for sure, like, I was really lucky with injuries. I had a few injuries, but not really like major injuries. But always during an injury, it's a hard time. But I think it's always also a really good chance to appreciate what you have and to then work hard and come back even stronger. So I would say that's a main obstacle. Otherwise, just in general, that I could start my career. As I mentioned, it's super expensive in the beginning, and there for sure were some doubts, because you can always go like the, let's say, the normal way or the more casual way and do like learn how to do a job or study or anything else. And if you want to be a professional snowboarder, that's for sure like a bit of a different path. So there was maybe a bit of convincing in the beginning with my family members and stuff, but after all, they saw that it made me really happy and that, yeah, I really did belong there. So they supported it fully.
I'm sure they're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I do have two younger sisters.
Oh, do they snowboard or
a bit,
in
but
a
just for
sport?
fun, not really like serious.
So you're the big brother.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm sure they give you hell. Yeah.
Sometimes.
That's what little sisters are for. I totally understand. Can you tell us about the Swiss military program?
Yeah, I do. We actually have a pretty cool program where you can do your sports, but then at the same time do the military duty. Because in Switzerland, you have to do the military. And we have this special program where you actually do 5 weeks with just normal education, like military education, where you also go shooting and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then you basically take the winter off because you're snowboarding and competing. And then in spring, you start again for another 13 weeks. And in these 13 weeks, you're allowed to train. So you can really use their facilities. They have like a great facility in Switzerland. And you can be there for 13 weeks and really train and get ready for the next season. And then afterwards, you're allowed to do like repetition courses. And these repetition courses are mainly just snowboard training and competitions.
Wow.
And you get paid for it.
Is that like do you have to have a military service commitment to that upon finishing that program, or?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You have to afterwards do certain amount of days that you finish your duty kind of. And once you're finished, you're actually done with the military as well.
Wow. Can we also get that in America? Like,
it's a really cool program. They have it as well in like Germany and Austria. And it's
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a really cool opportunity for athletes to do like the military service and at the same time progress in their sports.
Right. Okay. So back to competition. What is the biggest stage that you've competed on?
I think the biggest stage is most definitely the Olympic Games. It's just that one event that basically everybody knows, and it's just a huge platform. And if you do good there, the whole world knows. And really, you can tell anyone, like if you meet someone on the street and you tell them that you won Olympic gold, he can like relate to that. And if you tell them maybe, yeah, I won X Games gold, they probably, maybe like here in the US, they know the event for sure. But if you tell someone in Switzerland, they probably not even know they don't even know the event. But with the Olympics, it's just like such a huge sport event that everybody knows it.
How was that feeling? What was that feeling that you had when you first went to your first Olympics?
I was nerve-wracking, I can tell you. Yeah, like normally before every competition, I'm nervous. And I think that's a good thing. And then learn to accept that I really, really need this like certain amount of nervosity. How you can tell. And in the Olympic Games, it was different. I can tell you that. Like the first day of competition, I never felt this nervous, and yeah, it was just nerve-wracking because I knew that I worked so long for this goal, and now it's here. And then in the end, it's a super short opportunity. You have like 2 runs, and one of them counts, and you need to do your best run in this run and really make it count. And it was pretty nerve-wracking, I can tell you that.
Do you ever get nervous when you go for like other big air competitions like this past weekend or?
Yeah, for sure. Like I mentioned, I think it's really necessary to be nervous because it trims your system or your whole body to the performance that it needs to do afterwards. So I learned over the years that I really need to accept this nervous state. Also during flying, I have that as well. If I go for a wingsuit base jump, I need to be nervous because then I pay attention and I really live in the moment, and I try to really do my best because I need to do my best at that moment. Otherwise, it won't be good.
Yeah, it's a matter of acceptance, right?
Exactly. That's the same thing during a bigger competition. I know that I need to be really focused and I need to be really here in the present moment, because if I think about my taxes in that moment and I go for a really difficult jump, it's not going to end well.
Right. Totally understand that. What I did learn a little bit about Jonas is that he does wingsuiting. So how did you get into that sport? Because that looks pretty gnarly.
It looks from the outside, yeah. My parents met during skydiving.
Really?
Yeah, which is actually a funny story. So I always wanted to do like a tandem jump because I just wanted to experience the feeling. And then for a long time, I kind of forgot about it. Mm-hmm. And then in 2017, I saw a lot of videos about wingsuit flying. And I was really fascinated because, first of all, that just something like that is even possible nowadays. And then second, I found out that a lot of jumps were super close to the place where I live. So I was super inspired by that. And I knew I had to start like my flying career. So in 2018, I did my first jump. And from the beginning on, I was hooked and started skydiving. And then in the same year, I also started paragliding. And
wow.
Yeah, from there on, my flying career kind of started.
And you've been doing that for how long?
A bit more than 5 years now.
Okay. And that's something that you just plan on doing for however long you can.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so with My Wicked Dude, we started up 2 years ago now, and you've been affiliated with My Wicked Dude. Sunny's been out there, filmed with you a few times. What's your experience been like with My Wicked Dude?
It's been really good. Yeah, I'm really happy to be part of the team. I just got my new suit now. I did like 5 jumps before I left to China. And wow, man, I'm in love. It's such a cool suit. And I'm getting a parachute now, which I'm really excited as well. So I have the full kit afterwards.
Nice.
And I'm really happy to be part of the team. We did a cool team trip last February. We went to France and I met Miles and Jules, and it was amazing.
Those guys are crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Especially Miles. I saw so many videos of him, and then to meet him in person was really, really special.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the future and all the project we have.
So what's next for you after snowboarding? What's next after all of this for you?
Yeah, what's after snowboarding? It's a difficult question, but I'm studying at the moment. I do a degree, like a bachelor degree in sports management. So for sure, want to work in like a marketing side of things a little bit. I'm also doing my coach's education because I think it's really sad that if you're in a sport for a long time and you gather all this knowledge over all these years and you stop and then this knowledge kind of gets lost. I really want to pass on all the knowledge that I gained over the years to the next generation. So I want to be a coach for a little bit to really pass on this knowledge. I also would like to do something with flying. I'm for sure going to do my tandem license in paragliding and skydiving. That would be cool to do on the side. And then, yeah, for sure, flying will be probably more important in my life the upcoming years once I use less time for snowboarding. And yeah, then we basically see it's going to be
still doing big things out there. How important is mentorship to you? Whether that's you receiving mentorship or you giving mentorship. And it sounds like that's something that is in your future, right? With coaching.
Yeah.
So who is your mentor? And do you foresee yourself providing that mentorship to a group of kids later down the road?
For sure. Yeah, I would like to do that. I think every time I heard like a nice quote, I think it was, every time you learn, you have the ability to teach, and every time you teach, you have the ability to learn. And it's really like that, because I've learned so much when I was teaching things to other people, because other people have different problems and you never probably thought about this. And it's really interesting because you can learn a lot of things like that. And in general, mentorship, it's really important in life that you have people that support you and guide you and that you can trust as well. So for me, I had different mentors in flying. Then I had probably different mentors in snowboarding. And it always changes a little bit. I think it's really cool to be a mentor for someone and really help them out. And yeah, in the end, in my snowboard career, it's always about myself. But then if I become a mentor of someone else, I can help out someone else and really see that excitement if they, for example, learn a new trick or learn a new skill. And I think that's really, it's a nice feeling.
It is. It's so important. I think knowledge is power. I really appreciate everything that you've done and the time that you've taken to sit down and do this podcast with you, and looking forward to the future projects. Hopefully I have a fully recovered ACL by then, the next time I see you. And next time I think we're going to be in your home court over in Switzerland. So that would be awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the podcast. It was fun talking to you.
Likewise.